Now, the second topic that we are going to take is mineral security partnership. Now, why this is in news, mineral security partnership? Okay, right. Mineral security partnership is in news because it is an alliance that has been announced by United States. Okay, it is an alliance led by United States government, which seeks to reduce the dependency of all these countries for rare earth material and critical minerals on China. Okay. Currently, the world is very heavily dependent on China for the supply of what? The rare earth materials and critical materials. Now, what are these rare earth materials? We'll be getting into that in a while. Okay. So, what is concern in Delhi? That means Indian government is concerned that India has not been made a part of the strategic mineral alliance, or as we say, mineral security partnership. Okay. So the background is actually, as I said, to counter the dominance of China in the field of this production and refining of what? The rare earth materials. Okay. So the United States has started a global alliance to counter that. Okay. Now, in the previous presidency of Donald Trump, okay, the United States companies started shifting. They started a policy called China Plus One. They started a policy called China Plus One, and they started shifting their manufacturing base from China to other countries. Why? There were two reasons. The first one was that the competitive advantage that the China had in the terms of cheap labor has almost faded away. Okay. Now, what is competitive advantage? Competitive advantage means one country is having some advantage over other country in terms of some factor of production. One such factor of production is labor. Okay. So China was having this competitive advantage of low to medium skilled labor was very readily available at very low wages. Okay. That led to the reduction in the cost of manufacturing. That is why a lot of companies flocked from USA to China and shifted their manufacturing bases in China. That was around 1990s and 2000s. And that led to a huge economic boom in China, and it has led to creation of a huge manpower which is very skilled in China. Now, when the Donald Trump presidency came and his slogan of Make America Great Again, and a lot of his policies were directed in such a way to shift the manufacturing bases back from other countries to USA so that the domestic jobs could be created. One such example was the factory of Harley Davidson from Mexico was shifted back to Texas. Okay, and that specific program, and also as COVID struck, right? As COVID struck, China went under the severe lockdown, right? Which led to container shortage, and also the manufacturing units were shut for a long time, which led to a global supply shortage. Okay, the global logistic chains were disrupted, and that led to a global supply shortage. To counter that, companies started this China Plus One policy. China Plus One policy means let's shift our manufacturing base from China to some other country as well. That means that leads to diversification of risk. Risk diversification means that if you put all your eggs in one basket, so you are taking very huge amount of risk. What if something happens to the basket? All your eggs will be gone. So what you should do, you should put some eggs in one, some eggs in the other. Now that specifically led to this One China policy for the risk diversification, and benefit of that could be accrued to the countries like Vietnam, countries like Thailand, countries like India, okay, which are growing and which are growing with the mid and cheap mid and low skilled labor. Okay. Similarly, China also exerts a lot of power. In this rare earth minerals material section. How? Let's look at some statistics. Okay, let's try to understand what rare earth materials are. Okay. Very basic example of a rare earth material is lithium. We have all heard about lithium ion batteries. Now lithium ion batteries are very important because of their high charge density. As compared to the conventional batteries, okay, the conventional lead acid batteries, okay, and the lithium ion batteries have a very high charge density. Okay, that means they can be made smaller in size because they can store larger amount of charge as compared to the conventional batteries, lead acid batteries. Okay, that makes them more portable as well because they do not need any liquid for electrolysis for the charge to get stored. Okay, so lithium, cobalt, okay, lithium, cobalt, rubidium, molybdenum, niobium, all these metals or all these minerals are very crucial to the manufacturing of strategic defense equipments, electronics, and all these things. And that is why today almost everything that you have in your hand, from digital camera to your phone, they have at least some of their components made from these materials. For example, the speaker of our phones is made by niobidium. Okay, so that is a rare earth material. That is a rare earth material. For example, let's take an example to demonstrate the ability of rare earth materials. For example, China sold 1.3 niobidium to the value of $1.3 billion in 1 year. Apple made $143 billion from the sale of iPhones, right? And all these iPhones contained some kind of the rare earth material. For example, the niobidium that is used for making magnets which make our speaker powerful and small as well. Okay, powerful and small. A small speaker, if it is powerful, it means it is having a very strong magnet inside it. Okay, and that magnet is not made by the conventional material. These magnets are made up of rare earth materials. Similarly, a lot of other technologies, defense equipment, missile technology, and all these things comprise a lot of these all rare earth materials, and that is why they are also called critical or strategically important materials. Okay, now China is having a lot of dominance over the production and the global supply of all these rare earth materials. Now let's look at what are the countries that are the part of Mineral Security Partnership. The first one is Australia, Canada, Finland, France, Germany, Japan, the Republic of Korea, Sweden, UK, and European Commission. Okay, all these countries and one European Commission are part of this Minerals Security Partnership. Okay. Oh, let's look at what are critical minerals. I already told what are critical minerals. Let's look at some of usage. Like for example, batteries. Batteries are made up of lithium because lithium is having a very high charge density. Now, for example, other phones, aerospace, medical, and like rare earth oxides like niobidium oxide, for example, in making magnets for speaker phones, cobalt, lithium, scandium, vanadium, antimony, tungsten, and platinum group elements. Okay, so you don't have to know all this, but some important are cobalt, lithium, vanadium, antimony, niobidium, and all these are important rare earth or critical materials. Okay, let's look at how the China exerts dominance. So global supply of critical minerals. This is global reserves of rare earth materials. See, rare earth material contains both. Rare earth materials are specific, but critical minerals contains both rare earth materials and non-rare earth materials. Okay, rare earth materials are called rare earth materials because they are found in very trace amounts. Like iron is very abundant. Okay, aluminum is abundant. But all these rare earth materials are not very much abundant. Okay, that is why they are called rare earth. Now, rare earth materials are of two kinds. The first is light rare earth and the second one is heavy rare earth. Now if we look at the global reserves, now what is reserve and what is production? Reserve means that is found below earth, inside our earth. How much is it? How much a specific part of our land contains that material. Now China is having highest amount of global reserves of rare earth minerals, then Vietnam, Brazil, Russia, and then India. Okay. Now you would say United States is posted below India. Now what the problem is that despite the fact that United States is placed below India, it is still one of the largest supplier of rare earth material. See, if we look at the global rare earth exporters, so China, okay, China is having 42%, okay, 42% by volume and 46% by income that is generated from the global income, okay. And then comes USA, it is 9.3%. But you can observe the gap between 42.3% and 9.3%. That means almost half of the rare earth materials. And if we combine the non-rare earth materials like vanadium, titanium, antimony, bismuth, lithium, cobalt. Lithium is not a rare earth material, okay. But if we combine all them, then 70% of the supply of critical minerals is dominated by China. Okay, 70%. Now you can see 42.3% of only rare earth exports come from China. And the gap between 42 and 9.3 shows how the country exerts its dominance. Now you cannot see India anywhere here. There are two important reasons. Despite the fact that India has a large resource or reserve of the rare earth materials, India lacks technological advancement or technological know-how to process and extract these rare earth materials. That is why you cannot see India anywhere in this chart, which shows the exports of rare earth material from the countries. But India is having resources. Okay. So I hope you understood how China is exerting its dominance over the presence of the supply of rare earth materials in the global supply chain. Okay. To counter this, of course, this alliance was formed. Now the goal of this alliance is to ensure critical minerals are produced. In 2013, for example, China stopped the export of, or China diminished the export of these rare earth materials throughout the world, which led to a global rise in the price of all these electronic equipments that we are making. And since the China is having a huge amount of rare earth, huge amount of monopoly on the rare earth materials, it can also it can also exert a lot of dominance on the defense manufacturing equipments in other countries, because all these defense equipments, these modern warfare equipments, they are very electronic equipments, okay, and they contain some amount of these rare earth material, and they depend on the supply of the rare earth materials for their manufacturing. Okay, and for example, and China has in China also only a few companies can export and refine and mine and refine the rare earth materials. Okay, and that too is very regulated. Okay, that means China is basically having dominance on the supply of rare earth materials. To counter that dominance, this alliance was formed. Okay, focus would be on the supply chain of minerals such as cobalt, nickel, lithium, and also the 17 rare earth minerals. Okay, as I said, lithium is not a rare earth mineral, cobalt is not a rare earth mineral, nickel and tungsten are not rare earth mineral. Okay, but antimony, bismuth, antimony also not antimony, but you should go through the list of rare earth materials. Although then it is not important to know them, but materials like cobalt, nickel, lithium, these are very important. Okay, the focus would be on these critical minerals, the supply of critical minerals. The MSP will help catalyze investment from government and the private bodies in not only exploration but also mining and export of these critical minerals, so that the global supply chain does not get hampered by the wishes and whims of China. Okay, let's look at how India, why India is concerned by this exclusions. Okay, so there are two things. As I said in the very beginning, that India has a huge resource of rare earth materials, but what it lacks is the technological know-how. Right now, some rare earth are available in India, such as lanthanum, cerium, niobium. Now, this neodymium, this metal is used for making the magnets, very strong magnets that are very small in size. Okay, and that has led to the manufacturing of smaller earphones. Okay, so praseodymium and samarium. There are, like as I said, there are two kind of rare earth materials. The first one is light rare earth materials, and the second one is heavy rare earth materials. So India has some reserves of light rare earth materials, but HREE, that is heavy rare earth materials, are not found in India for the commercial exploitation. The reserves are not so much that they can be commercially exploited. Now, lithium is one of the most important critical mineral, because for India, of course, it is very important, because we are going through a very EV revolution. Okay, and the EV revolution will be based on the kind of battery products that we are able to manufacture. Okay, if there is an advancement, because EV revolution is based completely upon the kind of energy storage devices that we are able to make. That means batteries that we are able to manufacture. Now, lithium is concentrated a lot in Argentina, Bolivia and Chile. These are the three South American countries which contains huge resources of lithium. This is called lithium triangle as well: Argentina, Bolivia and Chile, with around 50% of the world deposits alone in these three countries. Okay, in India, lithium reserves are found, yes, they are found in Rajasthan, Chhattisgarh, and very recently Arunachal Pradesh was also a huge lithium reservoir found in Arunachal Pradesh, Jharkhand and Karnataka. India has also signed this agreement with Argentina for the supply of lithium to India. Okay, now India is currently aiming to become the electronics manufacturing hub. Okay, we are going through a EV revolution. Third point, we are also going through a huge overhaul of our solar, our installed power capacity, in the terms that we are making huge switch into the solar power, right? And that also is made by a very critical mineral. Okay, not only the silicon, there are other important minerals as well. Okay, so that is why India is going to face if India was included into this treaty, so India would have been a very crucial factor in countering the China's dominance. Now, some experts are saying that since India does not know the technical know-how for extraction and refinement of these minerals, that is why India has been kept out of this protocol. But the Union Finance Ministry has asked the Ministry of External Affairs to negotiate the methods through which India can also be admitted into this treaty. Now, rare earth are very important. Let's see a UPSC 2012 prelims question. It says, recently, as I talked about, that in 2012-13, China stopped the supply of these rare earth materials throughout the world. Okay, so it actually imposed some restrictions. The China recently there has been a concern over the short supply of a group of elements called rare earth metals. See, UPSC will always surprise you. If you think that such a technical question could not be asked, you are in for a surprise. How? You can clearly see that there has been a question. For example, China, which is the largest statement. Let's look at the statements. Why? The question is, why has there been a shortage of rare earth minerals? So the China, which is largest producer of these elements, has imposed some restrictions on the export. Okay, now it's very important to note here, China is the largest producer of these elements. This is correct. And of course, it imposed restrictions at that time. This is also correct. Other than China, Australia, Canada, and Chile, okay, our elements are not found in any country. Okay. Now, whenever you see such options, you should try to eliminate. Why? Because everything is found almost everywhere. Take every mineral will be found almost everywhere in some greater amount or some smaller amount. But it says it is not found any country. Okay? So this is a very sweeping statement. Okay? Now UPSC is trying to be clever here, because UPSC understands that when this was in news, Chile, Argentina, Bolivia was also in news for the resources of lithium. Okay? So that is why they have put Chile, Canada, Australia, China. Not only China, okay? Not only China, they have also included these countries to bring confusion to your mind. But you have to look for the keyword any. Okay? That is a very sweeping statement, right? So there will be some countries where it is found apart from these. So this sounds incorrect. Okay. Now let's look at the third option. Rare earth metals are essential for manufacture of various kinds of electronic items, and there's a growing demand for these elements. They are very correct. We have already discussed this. That means 1 and 3 look correct to me. Let's look at what is the right answer to that. The answer is C, 1 and 3. Okay. So I hope you understood the strategic mineral partnership. If you have any questions, kindly reach me out in the comment section.